Today, we're diving deep into a topic that lies at the very core of our well-being, heart health, and specifically, the profound impact of saturated fat. For decades, the scientific community has been amassing evidence, study after study, pointing to a clear connection between high saturated fat intake and an increased risk of heart disease, the leading cause of death globally. It's not just a vague association. We're talking about a direct physiological mechanism where these fats contribute to the buildup of dangerous plaque in our arteries, a condition known as atherosclerosis. This isn't about fear-mongering. It's about arming you with knowledge, because understanding the why is the first step towards taking control of your health. The concern with saturated fats primarily revolves around their effect on our cholesterol levels, particularly low-density lipoprotein, or LDL cholesterol, often dubbed the bad cholesterol. Diets rich in saturated fats have been consistently shown to elevate LDL cholesterol. These LDL particles, when in excess, can infiltrate the artery walls, become oxidized, and trigger an inflammatory response. This process initiates the formation of atherosclerotic plaques, which are essentially fatty deposits that harden and narrow the arteries. Think of your arteries as vital highways for blood flow. Saturated fat acts like a persistent traffic jam, gradually choking off the supply routes your heart and brain depend on. This isn't a passive process. It's an active assault on your cardiovascular system. But here's the empowering part. This isn't a foregone conclusion. While the impact of saturated fat is significant, the power to mitigate this risk largely rests in our hands, or more accurately, on our plates. Even seemingly small, incremental changes to our dietary patterns can yield substantial benefits for our heart health. It's not about achieving overnight perfection, but about making conscious, informed choices, one meal at a time. The journey to a healthier heart is paved with these small adjustments, and the cumulative effect can be truly transformative, leading to a longer, more vibrant life. We'll explore exactly how to make these changes practical and sustainable. So, what exactly are these saturated fats, and where do they predominantly lurk in our diets? Chemically speaking, saturated refers to the fact that all the carbon atoms in the fatty acid chains are fully saturated with hydrogen atoms, resulting in straight chains that pack together tightly, making them typically solid at room temperature. Think of butter, the marbling in red meat, lard, or coconut and palm oils. While our bodies do need some fat for various functions, the type of fat matters immensely. The primary dietary sources of saturated fats are animal products, red meat, processed meats like sausages and bacon, poultry skin, and full-fat dairy products like cheese, cream, and butter. Certain tropical plant oils like coconut oil and palm oil are also high in saturated fats, a fact often overlooked. Understanding these sources is the first critical step in identifying where we can make effective changes. Now, let's delve into the insidious process by which these fats contribute to arterial blockage, a condition we call atherosclerosis. When we consume a diet high in saturated fats, our liver responds by producing more LDL cholesterol. These LDL particles, often referred to as the bad cholesterol, circulate in our bloodstream. If their levels are persistently high, they have an increased tendency to penetrate the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of our arteries. Once inside the arterial wall, these LDL particles can become oxidized, a process akin to rusting. This oxidation triggers an inflammatory alarm, attracting immune cells called macrophages. These macrophages attempt to clean up the mess by engulfing the oxidized LDL, but in doing so, they become engorged and transform into what are known as foam cells. These foam cells are a key component of atherosclerotic plaque. As more and more foam cells accumulate, along with other cellular debris, cholesterol crystals, and calcium, the plaque grows larger and thicker. This buildup progressively narrows the lumen, the open channel within the artery, restricting the space available for blood to flow. It's a silent, gradual process that can begin in childhood and progress over decades without any noticeable symptoms. The arteries become less flexible, stiffer, and hardened, which is why atherosclerosis is often referred to as hardening of the arteries. This isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a direct threat to the oxygen supply to our vital organs, setting the stage for serious, life-altering cardiovascular events. The evidence from countless autopsy studies, imaging studies, and epidemiological research paints a very clear picture of this damaging pathway. Armed with the knowledge of how saturated fats impact our arteries, the next logical step is to implement practical strategies to reduce their intake. One of the most powerful tools at your disposal is the nutrition facts label. mandated on most packaged foods. Don't just glance at the calories. Specifically, look for the saturated fat line. Pay attention to the grams of saturated fat per serving and the percent daily value. The goal is to keep this number as low as possible, ideally aiming for foods with 5% DV or less per serving for saturated fat. You might be surprised to find high levels of saturated fat lurking in unexpected places, such as baked goods like pastries and cookies, frozen meals, creamy sauces, and even some types of coffee creamers. Becoming a savvy label reader is a fundamental skill for navigating the modern food environment and making heart-healthier choices. Beyond scrutinizing labels, significant reductions in saturated fat can be achieved through smart swaps in your own kitchen. Consider your cooking fats. If you regularly use butter, lard, or coconut oil for cooking, try transitioning to oils lower in saturated fat and higher in unsaturated fats, like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or canola oil. Even small amounts used daily add up. Cooking methods also play a crucial role. Instead of frying foods, which often involves adding saturated fats or cooking in them, explore healthier techniques like baking, grilling, broiling, steaming, or poaching. When cooking meat, make it a habit to trim any visible fat before cooking and remove the skin from poultry. These simple adjustments can dramatically cut down the saturated fat content of your meals without sacrificing flavor, especially when you learn to use herbs, spices, and citrus to enhance taste. Choosing leaner sources of protein is another cornerstone of a low-saturated fat diet. Prioritize poultry without the skin, fish, especially fatty fish rich in omega-3s like salmon and mackerel, and plant-based proteins such as beans, lentils, chickpeas, and tofu or tempeh. These options are not only lower in saturated fat, but also offer a wealth of other beneficial nutrients. Gradually reduce your consumption of red meat, particularly fatty cuts, and processed meats like sausages, hot dogs, and deli meats, which are notoriously high in saturated fat and sodium. It's not necessarily about complete elimination if that feels too restrictive, but about shifting the balance on your plate. Making plant-based proteins the star of your meals a few times a week can be an excellent starting point for significantly lowering your saturated fat intake and boosting your fiber and phytonutrient consumption. Now that we've discussed what to reduce, let's focus on the exciting part, the incredible array of foods that actively support and protect your heart. At the forefront are fruits and vegetables, in all their glorious colors and varieties. These nutritional powerhouses are packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and crucially fiber. The soluble fiber found in many fruits and vegetables such as apples, oranges, berries, carrots, and Brussels sprouts plays a direct role in lowering LDL cholesterol by binding to cholesterol in the digestive system and preventing its absorption. Beyond fiber, the antioxidants in these foods help combat oxidative stress and inflammation, both of which are implicated in the development of heart disease. Aim to fill half your plate with fruits and vegetables at every meal. The more variety, the better, as different colors often signify different protective compounds. Next up are whole grains and legumes, the unsung heroes of a heart-healthy diet. When we say whole grains, we mean grains that retain all parts of the grain kernel, the bran, germ, and endosperm. Think of foods like oatmeal, steel-cut or rolled, not instant packets with added sugar, barley, brown rice, quinoa, whole wheat bread, and pasta. These are rich in soluble fiber, particularly beta-glucan in oats and barley, which has well-documented cholesterol-lowering effects. Legumes, including all kinds of beans, black kidney, pinto lentils, and chickpeas, are another fantastic source of soluble fiber, plant-based protein, and essential minerals. They help stabilize blood sugar levels, promote satiety, and contribute significantly to reducing LDL cholesterol. Incorporating a serving of legumes daily can make a remarkable difference to your cardiovascular risk profile. Finally, let's talk about fats, the good kinds. While we're diligently working to reduce saturated fats, it's vital to replace them with healthier unsaturated fats, specifically monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. Excellent sources of monounsaturated fats include extra virgin olive oil, avocados, and nuts like almonds, peanuts, and cashews. Polyunsaturated fats, which include essential omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, are found in fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, and sunflower seeds. These healthy fats can actually help improve your cholesterol profile by lowering LDL or bad cholesterol and potentially raising HDL or good cholesterol. They also possess anti-inflammatory properties and support overall cellular health. A handful of nuts, a drizzle of olive oil on your salad, or incorporating fatty fish into your weekly meals are delicious ways to embrace these heart-protective fats. While dietary changes are paramount for managing saturated fat intake and its consequences, we cannot overlook the profound benefits of regular physical activity for heart and arterial health. Exercise acts as a powerful ally in our quest to maintain clear, flexible arteries. Regular aerobic exercise, the kind that gets your heart pumping and your lungs working, helps to strengthen your heart muscle, making it more efficient at pumping blood throughout your body. It can also contribute to lowering blood pressure, improving insulin sensitivity, and assisting in weight management, all of which are crucial factors in reducing the overall burden on your cardiovascular system. Think of exercise as a tune-up for your entire circulatory network. A common question is whether exercise can directly reverse or reduce existing arterial plaque. The science here is nuanced. While some studies have hinted at the possibility of plaque regression with very intensive lifestyle changes, the primary benefits of exercise are in preventing further plaque buildup, stabilizing existing plaques, and improving the function of the endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels. A healthy endothelium is less prone to damage and better able to resist plaque formation. So, while exercise might not be a magic eraser for established blockages, it's incredibly effective at halting progression and improving arterial health. So, what kind of exercise are we talking about and how much? The good news is that you don't need to become a marathon runner to reap significant heart benefits. The official guidelines recommend at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity per week, or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic activity. Moderate intensity activities include brisk walking, cycling at a moderate pace, swimming, water aerobics, or even vigorous gardening. Vigorous activities would be jogging or running, cycling fast or uphill, or singles tennis. The key is consistency and finding activities you genuinely enjoy, as this makes it far more likely you'll stick with them in the long term. Every step, every movement counts towards a healthier heart and clearer arteries. We've touched upon how saturated fat raises bad cholesterol, but let's delve a little deeper into the specific damage this inflicts upon your heart and circulatory system. The primary villain in this story, as fueled by saturated fat, is indeed low-density lipoprotein, or LDL cholesterol. When your doctor measures your cholesterol, the LDL-C value is a critical indicator of your cardiovascular risk. Saturated fats through complex metabolic pathways primarily in the liver lead to an upregulation of LDL receptor activity on liver cells becoming less efficient, meaning fewer LDL particles are cleared from the bloodstream. This results in higher circulating levels of LDL. These LDL particles, especially the small, dense variety, are particularly atherogenic, meaning they are very prone to contributing to plaque buildup in your arteries, as we discussed earlier by infiltrating the arterial wall. Beyond just elevating LDL cholesterol, diets high in saturated fat are also increasingly recognized for their role in promoting chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the body. Inflammation is a natural immune response, but when it becomes chronic, it can be incredibly damaging, particularly to the cardiovascular system. Saturated fatty acids can directly activate inflammatory pathways within cells, including those lining your arteries. This persistent inflammation within the arterial wall not only accelerates the growth of atherosclerotic plaques, but also makes these plaques more unstable and prone to rupture. An unstable plaque is like a ticking time bomb. Its rupture is the event that typically triggers a heart attack or stroke. So, saturated fat delivers a 1-2 punch. It helps build the plaque and then makes that plaque more dangerous. The ultimate and most devastating consequences of unchecked saturated fat intake and the resulting atherosclerosis are acute cardiovascular events like heart attacks and strokes. A heart attack occurs when a plaque in one of the coronary arteries, the vessels supplying blood to the heart muscle itself, ruptures. This rupture exposes the plaque's contents to the blood, triggering the formation of a blood clot. If this clot grows large enough to completely block the artery, the part of the heart muscle supplied by that artery is starved of oxygen and begins to die. Similarly, an ischemic stroke occurs when a clot blocks an artery leading to the brain, depriving brain cells of oxygen and causing damage. These are not just abstract risks. They are life-threatening emergencies that underscore the critical importance of managing saturated fat intake for long-term heart health. While we focus on reducing harmful fats, Let's also highlight some small but mighty foods that can actively benefit your heart seeds. First on our list are flax seeds. These tiny, unassuming seeds are nutritional powerhouses, particularly renowned for their high content of alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. ALA has been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects and can contribute to improved heart health. Flax seeds are also an excellent source of lignans, which are phytoestrogens with antioxidant properties, and both soluble and insoluble fiber. This combination works synergistically. The soluble fiber helps lower LDL cholesterol by binding to it in the digestive tract, while ALA and lignans may help reduce blood pressure and further protect against atherosclerosis. For optimal absorption of these nutrients, it's best to consume flax seeds ground, as whole seeds may pass through your system undigested. Next up are chia seeds, another tiny titan in the world of nutrition that has gained immense popularity for good reason. Like flax seeds, chia seeds are packed with ALA omega-3 fatty acids, offering significant anti-inflammatory benefits. They are also exceptionally rich in fiber, particularly soluble fiber. When chia seeds are mixed with liquid, they form a gel-like substance, a property that can aid in promoting feelings of fullness, stabilizing blood sugar levels, and importantly for heart health, binding to cholesterol in the gut to help excrete it from the body. Studies have suggested that regular consumption of chia seeds can contribute to lower LDL cholesterol, triglycerides, another type of blood fat, and blood pressure, making them a valuable addition to a heart-protective diet. Their versatility allows them to be easily added to smoothies, yogurt, oatmeal, or used as an egg replacer in baking. Lastly, let's not forget pumpkin seeds, also known as pepitas. These larger seeds are a fantastic source of several heart-healthy nutrients. They provide a good dose of magnesium, a mineral that plays a critical role in maintaining a healthy heart rhythm, regulating blood pressure, and supporting overall muscle and nerve function, including the heart muscle. Pumpkin seeds also contain antioxidants like carotenoids and vitamin E, which help protect cells from damaging free radicals. Furthermore, they are a source of healthy unsaturated fats and phytosterols, plant compounds that have been shown to help reduce cholesterol absorption from the gut. While perhaps not as famous for omega-3s as flax or chia, their unique blend of minerals, antioxidants, and healthy fats makes pumpkin seeds a worthy inclusion in your diet for supporting cardiovascular wellness. A small handful as a snack or sprinkled on salads can be a tasty way to boost your nutrient intake. We've covered a lot of ground today, from understanding the mechanisms by which saturated fat can harm our arteries to exploring delicious and nutritious foods that can protect our heart. The core message, supported by a vast body of scientific evidence, is clear. Reducing your intake of saturated fat is one of the most impactful steps you can take to lower your risk of heart disease and foster long-term cardiovascular health. But knowledge, as powerful as it is only the first step. The real transformation happens when we translate that knowledge into consistent action, making conscious choices every day that nourish and protect our bodies. I want to sincerely encourage you to start making small, sustainable changes today. This isn't about an overnight overhaul or adopting a diet of extreme deprivation. It's about progress, not perfection. Perhaps you could start by committing to reading food labels more carefully this week, or swapping out butter for olive oil in your cooking, or choosing one plant-based meal a day. Maybe it's adding a tablespoon of ground flaxseed to your morning oatmeal, or ensuring you have a colorful salad with lunch. Pick one or two strategies that resonate with you, something that feels achievable, and build from there. These small adjustments, when practiced consistently, compound over time to create significant positive change. Remember, every single healthy choice you make, every step you take towards a diet lower in saturated fat and richer in whole plant-based foods, is an investment in your future. It's an investment in more energy, greater vitality, and a reduced risk of debilitating heart conditions. Your heart works tirelessly for you day in and day out. Taking these proactive steps is how you can work for it. Thank you for joining us on this Journey Rats exploration. We hope this information empowers you to take control of your heart health. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it helpful. And let us know in the comments what small changes you're planning to make.